The TV show.
Are you sure that's all it was?
Destiny.
How can I have a destiny?
Something's wrong. This isn't how life is supposed to feel. Tell me you know it's true.
Maddie, it's just the suburbs.
It's been a while since I've been as perplexed by a movie as I am with I Saw the TV Glow. My experience of watching this movie was one of mild curiosity at first, quickly transformed to utter boredom, was transformed once again to a seething anger for the last third, maybe a little bit more of this film. A rage that increased with every tell instead of show diatribe that this movie rambled on for, explaining a backstory that was far more interesting than anything we actually saw on screen. A film with pretty good visuals at times, choosing to stray away from them for more Tumblr, Twitter-esque dialogue. Seeing the post-credits of this film and Emma Stone being a producer, I can only hope this movie is a product of nepotism or blackmail. I truly hope that Emma Stone is okay. That whatever basement they kept her in with a gun pointed straight to her head to get funding for this movie, I hope she's been set free since then. I truly don't understand this film, and not in the literal sense. I get what this movie's trying to say, or thinks it's trying to say. I get the themes, I get the message. I don't get the love that I've seen for this movie. Now, film is a subjective medium, so we all love and enjoy different things. I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. Those movies are nowhere near being masterful cinema, but I grew up with them. I enjoy watching them and I have a good time with them. So I get that we all see things differently, that we take different things from the media we consume. But reading Rotten Tomatoes and seeing 83%, or on Letterboxd holding a strong 3.8 at the time of this recording, to even talking to people in my own life and hearing positive feedback, I feel like I watched a completely different film to them. That whatever they saw on screen was not the same movie that was put on when I sat down in the theater. A theory that unfortunately cannot be the correct answer, as one of my friends was sitting there next to me. But maybe I don't understand this movie. Maybe the themes just didn't connect with me. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? This film is sponsored by depression. The thing that this movie and reviewing it gave to me. And not the good kind like Red Dead, which I wish I was playing instead right now. Wanted this movie to succeed. I hadn't seen too much about it, so I didn't have an over amount of hype for it. But from the first trailer that I saw, I thought it had an interesting enough concept. I thought the imagery in the trailer looked really cool, and I'm a fan of Justice Smith. While I don't think he's given any out of this world, award-winning performances, I think he's always been a pretty fun and enjoyable actor, and I like seeing him in things, whether it be the Jurassic World franchise, Detective Pikachu. He was really good in Dungeons and Dragons last year. He's always a joy to see on screen. With that being said, he could do absolutely nothing to save this atrocious dog water dialogue. That is the thing I need to stress the most about this film. It hides behind the concept that this movie is a little weird. It uses its characters, their quirkiness, them being kind of weird, socially awkward characters, to excuse the fact that the dialogue reads like the worst of Tumblr fanfiction. It's kind of like how in Deadpool 2, they make that joke about how, well, that was poorly written, when Cable only has the two slides through time where he can come back to the past and one charge to get back. And they poke fun at the fact that that's a dumb, poorly written concept. But the joke is an excuse to not actually give a good reason for why he couldn't just keep going through time. It's an excuse. It works to a certain degree in a Deadpool movie because Deadpool has always been a character that breaks the fourth wall, that pokes fun at conventional tropes and things in comic books, film, games, whatever it may be. But it's still a little bit lazy. And what is one moment that you can or cannot give a pass, it happens quickly. This movie is continual, frustrating annoyance. This movie just slowly gnawed away at my tolerance as the movie went on. What started off as interesting enough characters, the whole concept of them being kind of socially inept, connecting over this TV show is something we see a lot in real life. People bonding over their love for anime or video games and creating a sense of community and friendship where they might otherwise struggle to find that into their IRL communities and in their day-to-day life. And I think there was an opportunity in this film to really say something about how things like fandom can be a positive. It can bring people together. It can teach us life lessons. It can open up doorways for us, whether it be instilling confidence in us, helping us to see things in ourselves and the world around us, connecting us with other people. Those can be very important things, and there could have been a good commentary on the fact that those things that can, in moderation, with limits, be really beneficial can also have a negative impact on our life. When we start acting too much like a fictional character or applying the things that they can do in their world, in their within the confines of their story, is not always something we can get away with in real life. We can't always interact the way that our favorite characters were, because there are certain rules in our society, in our interaction with other people, that some of those things just aren't going to fly. And I think somewhere deep down there was an attempt to do that. Unfortunately, I think this film becomes too much of the thing it's trying to critique. I think the dialogue that is cheesily and poorly written works for the Pinko Peg scenes, like when they're watching the actual television show. It's very reminiscent of Power Rangers, Monster of the Week, kind of goofy storytelling. but it bleeds too much into the actual film itself. And I think that was intentional to a point, but it's just too much. It gets to a point where it just feels lazy, where it just feels poorly written. I don't want to watch an hour and a half of this dog water storytelling and script writing, and things just happen. And one of the most important parts of the story is where Maddie, the main actress in this film, has been missing for years, and she comes back and she tells an interesting tale, but they don't show. She just goes on this super long diatribe that's set up with 2 camera shots just back and forth between her and Justice Smith, and I'm just like, this would be some cool stuff to actually see. Instead, we just get to stare this close to her face while she just rambles on about it. And that's boring as shit in a film. And it's unfortunate because when this movie wants to, it has some incredible camera shots. It has some incredible cinematography and imagery. I just don't feel like they really used it to say anything. It was frustrating to me, and maybe this is me projecting on it, but this film just feels to me like it thinks it's doing something special. Like it's really using its full potential, and I just don't see it. I think they could have really done some meaningful commentary, but this movie, like the dialogue, it just feels like it's kind of spinning its wheels. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't make any definitive statements on anything. And I don't think a movie necessarily has to tell you exactly how to feel and think on everything, but it just feels pointless a lot of the times. I don't know what they want me to take away from it, because the whole concept of the fandom going overboard, I can just look at My Hero Academia fans if I want to have some commentary on that, you know what I mean? And I guess there's been another theme that a lot of people have taken from it of identity and trans representation, and maybe that was supposed to be the point. I really don't see it. I don't think that's what this film intended to focus on. If you are able to take some positivity, some body positivity, some gender, whatever from this movie, then good. I think representation is really important and cool, but I also think you should expect better. I think you deserve better representation. You deserve a movie you can be proud of for saying that you're valid and important, and this film doesn't do that. It doesn't say that it's okay to be yourself. It doesn't make any definitive statements. It doesn't really have anything to say. So expect better, you know? And a movie can be weird and goofy and have strange, flawed characters and still be good representation. Bottoms from last year did exactly that. It was one of my favorite movies of last year. It had a lot of great representation and really went through the struggle between finding yourself and the things you want, but also not getting carried away with it where you disregard others and the effect that your choices have on them. It did a really good job of that. That movie's weird as shit at times. There's a bloodbath at a football game at the end of it. But it has something to say, and it's really well written, and the characters have great dialogue, and the actors are able to deliver on that. I don't think the actors are the problem in I Saw the TV Glow. I just don't think they were given anything to work with. And to me, it's just disappointing because I think this film has potential to say a lot of things. It has the potential to be good commentary, to be good representation, to do all these things, and I just don't think it delivers. And I think that it's getting a pass for the ideas and for what it wants to say, but people aren't holding it to a standard of actually delivering on that. People are just saying, you tried, good job. But if a new Batman movie comes out and it ruins everything about Batman, the dialogue's terrible, story's terrible, but he puts on the bat suit, that's not enough. Sure, he was in it, but give me a goddamn good story. And I think you deserve a good story. I think this movie failed to deliver on the concepts and the ideas that it had. The dialogue, I don't know if it was just straight up poorly written or if they just got too lost in the sauce on the whole weird quirkiness. I feel like these characters don't feel anything like real people. They feel like they're just being needlessly quirky and real and weird just for the sake of it. And I'm sure some people are going to think that that's me hating on them or their concept or, you know, their social awkwardness. And that's definitely not the case. I can fully relate to the struggle to have good social interaction. It's something that took me a long time to be able to do and to be comfortable in myself, and that's an ongoing battle. Mental health, self-view, these things are tough, and I wish this movie represented them as well as it thinks that it does. I really wish this was a movie that I could look on and say, hey, I mean, I feel seen in some way with the mental health, the social awkwardness, the connection to fictional things giving me a sense of purpose and community, but I don't feel seen by it because it doesn't do a good job delivering on that. And the other themes that don't represent me, I think y'all deserve better on that as well. I think this could have been a really cool, unique movie that we could have been talking about for years to come, but instead, I think give this a month and people will have forgotten that this movie exists. And I think that's the biggest tragedy of it, is that this will pass by as a mediocre what if with a lot of cool themes and cool shots and ideas of something more special. And I wish we got that movie. I wish this could be our Pinko Peg, something that we find value in and connect over, and a community could form around it. But I just don't think this film deserves that. I don't think it delivered, and that's really unfortunate to me. I wish this movie was the movie that it thinks it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know you may not 100% agree with my takes on this film, and if you were able to connect with it and it did speak to you in some way, I'm happy for you. I do not want to take that from anybody. Like I said, people can connect to anything and find purpose, meaning, and just entertainment in all sorts of different stories, and I would never tell somebody not to feel that way about it. I just think you could have got better. But I'm not going to keep harping on that. Thank you for watching this video. If you stuck around, appreciate you. Tell me how wrong I am down in the comments below. I don't care. I'm fine with discourse on it. I'm happy to hear your thoughts about it and why I'm wrong. Because film is subjective. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody knows exactly what it means to be a good story. But stories are important and they speak to us in different ways, and I think that's pretty cool. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you sometime soon. Peace out.